Hi, you guys. It's 11 o'clock on Friday, and I just wanted to quickly make a video about this new moon. Gosh, it's made me a bit of a hot mess, though. It's this really intense new moon. It came in about 3 hours ago, so I'm still in the process of figuring out what the seed is around this. But I just wanted to pull up the chart for a sec, okay, and do a little expletive, if that is of interest to anybody here. So this is right now, but if we were to kind of pull back like a couple of hours, we would see that the new moon happened around 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We can like give or take like the perfect seconds. It really doesn't matter. In any case, this chart is taking place in Toronto, Ontario. So, but it's the same regardless of where you are at this specific time. The sun and the moon were together in Scorpio at 9 degrees, and they were trining Saturn in Pisces. Now, what's really interesting about this new moon, however, is the grand trine of water coming from Mars at 29 Cancer to Mercury at 28 Scorpio to Neptune at 27 Pisces, all making a kite to Pluto at 29 Capricorn. So this is the configuration that is pretty darn intense. And I feel like, so Scorpio is a very internal, emotional archetype that is about the self. Okay, Scorpio, it's about powerfully holding and owning the self and being able to control what comes in and what goes out, being able to be in one's personal power. Now, what are the things that take us out of our personal power? Well, for me personally, I mean, I can give my power away like nobody's business, Pluto and Libra generation. So relationships can take me out of my power. Sometimes belief systems can take us out of our power. Fears can take us out of our power, doubts, insecurities, whatever. There are lots of instances in your life, in my life, when we're not centered in our power. Just look at society, the rules that we're faced with, the organization of form that we're conditioned with from the time we're little. Like school takes us out of our power, doesn't it? Puts us into a structure, puts us into an organization of form, a rule system. So we all have an organization of form. That's Capricorn. And with this kind of a new moon and this kind of a configuration, what's at play is the deeper levels of our emotional body, right? Scorpio, grand trine in water, that are ready to regenerate Scorpio so that we're no longer bound by those old constructs or those old organizations of form, Pluto 29 degrees of Capricorn, so that we can come forward and break through them, Mars in Cancer, break through the emotional structures and lay claim to a deeper level of self and a deeper level of personal empowerment. If you never had to give your power away, if you knew what your power was, if you knew the power of your infinite soul, and you were so connected to this part of you that was your infinite soul, that nothing that ever came at you could shake you, shake your integrity, shake your alignment, or shake your understanding and your wisdom of who you are, what would that feel like? And perhaps today the invitation is, how can we get a bit closer to that, you know? At least that's how I'm feeling it. It's like, how can I take myself to the next level of that? How can I connect with that more deeply? It is a very personal new moon. I mean, people like to say that Scorpio is about merging with others, and it is. It is. There's a certain place within the Scorpio archetype where it's interested in boundaries and it's interested in how do I go beyond them and it's interested in what do they mean and it's interested in how do I protect my boundaries or how do I say yes to having my boundaries penetrated, right? It's a very sexual sign. It deals with intimacy and the dangers of intimacy. how risky intimacy can be, because what happens? We lose our power, right? We lose ourselves. And then it also deals with that mystical quality of self-release or self-transformation that happens when we're courageous enough to open our boundaries and merge with another. I mean, there is inevitably a death that happens every time we open our boundary up. However, there's a part of us that is unshakable. There's a part of us, our soul or our infinite core essence, that is impenetrable, that can never die and be reborn because it never dies. So within the scorpionic process, I heard it said once that we must keep our umbilical cord to our immortality intact. And because there's so much tumult and emotional chaos that can go on in Scorpio, there's so many different layers. I mean, it's a complicated water sign. But if we keep our connection to that immortal soul intact, then our power center can withstand any churning, any chaos, any disruption, any loss, any gain. It's all just grist for the mill in Scorpio's reality. Limitless, boundaryless, total absorption of what is. So I got off on a bit of a tangent there, describing Scorpio. To pull it back to this new moon, what seems to be coming up for me is, what are my personal boundaries? Where do they start and stop? What is the essential me that lives within them? And how do I break free of any of the emotional structures or the contracts or the whatever that are in the way of me simply stabilizing and being in that powerful self all the time? So anyway, I'm going to leave it there. Yeah, I'm going to leave it there and wish you guys a great new moon day. As always, new moons are really beautiful times to receive an intent. And for me, I always like to receive the intent, right? So I go into the receptive or into the meditative state and I ask for the intent. And of course, like, I keep the archetype in mind. I mean, I keep the whole chart in mind, right? The chart gives me information about what the seed is for this lunar cycle. And so I allow that as an overlay or a lens through which to look, but essentially it is me receiving what my next lesson is, what my next pulse of evolution is. So the new moon is that time when we receive the impulse that will lead us through the lunation that we're standing at the precipice of. So take some time with that today and enjoy finding your seed and the way this is coming alive for you. Thank you. Bye.